Hello? On today's episode, we have here Matt Price, comedian, magician, which, there you go, finger guns. What do you mainly, or what do you like to be called?
Attractive.
There you go. That's exactly what I thought you were going to say. That is it.
Magician, comedian, call me anything you want, just don't call me late for supper.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? I like meat.
Comedian, magician.
Yeah.
You're the only magician I know, because usually with comics, and you know this, like, I feel like there's always like a back and forth thing between us, but people still, comics love you. I mean, you're like a comic.
I think it's because I go really hard on people.
That might be it. Now that I think about it, you do go.
And whenever I'm on stage, I'm a magician, but still, like I write a lot. So
yeah.
I will roast you in the audience, just for looking at something you're supposed to look at.
I've seen it before. I've watched a few shows.
But I think that's why they let we're all a little bit dead inside. I think that whenever you really keep pushing like that, right? Not dead, but
No, you can say dead.
Or close.
You can say dead.
When you keep just trying to drill and try to get, because you want the audience to have an emotion, right? You want them to express an emotion always. So you whatever it takes. Sometimes you have an audience that just looks at you like this, and you just gotta
let
dig.
them know.
Yeah, you gotta dig until you get something out of them.
Okay.
So I think that's what comics appreciate about me.
There's definitely plays a factor, because I've seen you go hard on people and talk shit to people, and I'm like, man, we are different comics. It's like, we are different types of people, man.
We are. It's rough. It's a lot of like. Well, here's the thing too. It all stems from how you grew up, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are sensitive, I wouldn't hang around comics. You know what I mean? Like if you're a sensitive person, and I mean sensitive to a point where certain things will you'll be thinking about them for days and days and days on end. Maybe hanging around comics, even though they're jokes, maybe that's not the best group of friends to be having.
It's definitely not. It's a different thing. I do acting as well, but I had acting classes. I'll hang out with them after class, and we all hang out together. And the difference is so dramatic. The changes between hanging out with actors and after class and hanging out with comics. Things I think I could have said with them, actors, and they just get really offended or mad or just... And I'm like, this is not even like... You guys have no idea.
Right. Dude, it's legit freedom to say whatever you want to say when you're around comics. And that's...
Yeah.
But it does not translate into real life at all. At least
no.
It really doesn't, man. You could be crushing with comics, right? Because you could be offensive and raunchy, and they don't care. It's like, as long as you're going for the laugh.
That's the main thing, I think. If you're going for that laugh, people can say almost anything, and I will not judge them or get offended or whatever the case may be, because I'm like, you're going for what I ultimately am going for, a laugh. So
right, and even if it doesn't land,
their intentions aren't that.
Right, exactly. The intention is to make you laugh, and comics are smart enough to know that, but yet we live in jokes too.
Yeah.
So other people, at the water cooler, just standing around with their little paper cup, and that's why they have rules, and you're not allowed to say these certain things. But I would not be able to fit in there, because I've been doing comedy for 9 years now.
9 years.
Yeah. And I've been doing it professionally since I was 18. So, magic and comedy.
Yeah.
But like
you started with magic first.
Oh yeah. I've been doing magic since I was 7 years old.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And but like what I was saying was, you can't take me and put me in a real job anymore. I can't do it. I can't be around regular people anymore.
Yeah, it's weird.
I have conversations with people, just on the street, walking around, yada yada. You get into and I'm like, I have to hold myself back
from saying
a lot of because I'm so impulsive.
Yeah.
Right? If I think it just comes out. So, and you can't be like that around,
fucking working at Target or something. Yeah. You can't. What's the last real job like that, that you had?
That I had?
Non-entertainment wise.
I worked at it was here, in LA, because I've lived here for going on 4 years.
Okay.
But I did, whenever I first moved out here, it was just comedy, and everything was good. And then I needed to get a second job, so it was like comedy, street performing, and then I got a job at a newspaper plant.
A newspaper plant?
Yeah, we were making newspapers.
Oh, so and how?
They had to be out by like 5 o'clock in the morning, so we would get there at 10 o'clock at night, and then
Oh shit, third
yeah.
shift.
Oh, dude, it was rough. It was rough. And not like it was. It was just rough because I would be up at that time, but I'm not doing anything physical at that time.
Yeah.
You have to grab.
If you're up at that time, you're like hanging out YouTube videos. I can be up on like whatever, but
Exactly. But if you have to physically do stuff,
shit,
oh
yeah.
man, it is a nightmare. But that was the last job that I had, like the last real job. And then before that, it was whenever I was 18 years old. I worked at a pawn shop.
okay.
Yeah.
So working and dealing with like real people, not entertainers, and now you feel like you can't even go back to.
There's no way I could go
Yeah.
back. There's no way.
That's one thing too. I feel I've had a few jobs out here. Like I worked at Target, a Mexican restaurant, and every time the interactions with people, I don't take things seriously. So a lot of things that happen on the job, I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just I can do a job like that, but I wouldn't last very long. I get bored very quickly.
Yeah, and you were in the military too.
Yeah.
So it was.
A picture.
I feel like that should have taught you. Like I think it depends what you were doing though, right?
Yeah. Oh, I did intel job for the military, but it should have taught me. I just
But you were how long were you in the military for?
4 years.
And that how's that like you okay? So you're in there for 4 years.
Yeah.
How's interacting with civilians whenever you first get out?
Well, the craziest thing, and I always tell people this, who the weirdest day of anyone's life in the military, you can talk to anyone, I guarantee you, is the first day they wake up not in the military.
Really?
Like because think about it, when I was 18, I joined for 4 years. Every day there's structure to my life. I wake up at morning, fucking let's go, get up. Shave every morning, clean shaven every morning, clean shaven.
Man, you just went the opposite.
Yeah, no. And then it's like so much structure. Be here at Child's at 11. You got 10 minutes to eat. There's like every uniform clean for 4 years. And then one day, I remember I came home and I was done my contract. And then I was at my parents' house and I just get up out of bed and I'm like, oh, hey, Mom, I'm getting breakfast. What do I do now? I told her, I was like, what is it? Do whatever you want. I'm like, but what do you want me to do?
Tell me, I need structure.
Yeah, and it was a weird. That's why they give you like 5 months towards the end of the military to transfer, so you can change. So there's a word, readjust to civilian life, and it's like a weird thing. I'm like, oh shit! So then I readjusted to talking to civilians and being like, oh, people do things differently. They don't. If you're a little bit late for work some days, it's not the end of the world. As opposed to the military, it's like, you fucked up, man.
Yeah, this is not good.
Yeah, it was a very different. The weirdest day is pretty much a few days when you're officially out because you don't know what to do. You're just kind of sitting around like I don't know.
So you woke up and you asked your mom.
Yeah, I did.
What to do? Like, she give you like any chores or anything
She didn't
like that?
say
Just to
shit. All she said was, Mijo, just do whatever you want, Mijo. I was like, what do you need me to do anything? No, you're fine. Like it was like a weird, so much freedom that I had nothing. I was like, what do I? It was like I can't even explain. It happened for like a few days where I'm kind of like walking around the house and it's like you feel wrong. If I was like watching TV for a few hours, I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
It's like a weird transition. But that was the word I was looking for earlier. Transition was the word
Transition.
that I did not find. It was a weird thing, but after a few weeks it goes away. Then you occupy yourself, and I think I started doing improv very shortly after.
So that was your man. You literally went the opposite direction, like completely different from the military. I think, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you were all structured, right?
Yeah.
And now you got a beard.
Yeah. Very very quickly grew out the beard.
Khakis. A boat shirt is how I put that.
A boat shirt?
A
What is
boat
that?
shirt, just like I feel like you take that onto a boat.
Okay.
Like you're dressed for going.
I'm
out
definitely
to,
dressed for like some sailing type thing today.
Yeah, definitely the sea.
To be fair though, I didn't. I just put on something real quick because you're like, I'm here. I'm like, oh fuck, let me let me put on whatever shirt. Also, I'm trying to make sure I don't have the same shirt in every episode. So I'm going through and be like, I didn't wear that, and then I'm just putting whatever on.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's really all I'm doing.
But I like how you have your podcast structured too, because you're just like get dressed, sit down, not really what is it, stringent, not super structured.
Yeah, I don't want to make it my whole thing with doing this where I feel like it's working at least a few episodes. I feel like if you add more to it than what it is, it becomes like people aren't themselves. Like right now, if I had my friend there and she was like, "Okay, you talk, make sure to talk about that, or make sure to ask him about like how does he do his magic and do how many the joke structures and which I want to talk to you about anyway." But
Yeah.
if you have someone kind of there telling me that, or there's like, "Hey, by the way, we have to do that," or I got a hard out at that time. It's like, no, just none of that. I just want to be here and talk, and then about anything. We can talk about fucking jokes, or we can talk about fucking. I think you're talking about fight campaigns, so you're probably in the UFC and all that.
Oh,
maybe?
dude, yeah,
Same. So
it's my favorite. Right, like that is my hobby.
did you
like,
watch
just
the?
UFC in general?
So
But I always say I'm not an MMA fan. I'm a UFC fan.
What is do you know like
Just-
fighting, but you like the organize? What do you mean?
But like just UFC, because I couldn't tell you anybody in any
Oh,
other,
okay,
in
then
any
I-
other
And
organization.
I'm the same way then.
Yeah.
If that by that logic, I am a UFC fan because like Bellator and all that, I know of them. I know no one in them.
Like the only fights that I hear about in Bellator were like past UFC fighters that are fighting in
Mighty Mouse or whoever.
Yeah, or
People that-
like it was like Sonnen and Fedor, and then I was like, okay, cool, Sonnen and Fedor. You know, I guess I'll check that out whenever it comes out on YouTube. But I'm not gonna buy a Bellator thing.
Yeah.
It's like taking a step down. There's the UFC, which is like the top echelon,
Yeah.
and they do they produce such a good product. Everything else kind of feels like
It
man,
really-
it feels like a backyard Kimbo Slice fight. You know what I mean?
No, I think you're right. It's they do such a great job in top tier level everything. Where everything else is like, I don't know who you are or what.
Right.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, it's yeah. And the fights aren't as good. I usually think in my head that the fights aren't as good. I mean, I'm sure that they're fantastic, but I've never watched. Yeah, exactly.
I can't even tell you. I don't know.
This is all speculation. I have no idea. Bellator could put together a fantastic product. I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh shit.
You know, but Bellator's the tournament style, right? They do-
I think so. Or they had the thing that my friend told me was like the tournament with like a whole bunch of fights in one night or whatever.
Yeah.
That like which seems like fucking crazy to think of now. To think about how beat up these fighters get and they have to recover for weeks and then having multiple fights in a night.
Dude, that well, yeah. Back in UFC, what was it, 1 and 2? You know, like really early days of
Forrest
UFC.
Griffin or
No, earlier than that. Back in like Gracie's,
Yeah.
when the Gracies and
Yeah.
stuff, they had to do like 3 fights a night or something like that.
That's-
They would
that's-
fight twice. I'm not getting punched in the head and there was no time limit. There were no time limits,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
I think you're right. I think there was no time.
Yeah, they were just like they
Hey,
put the
whoever
two-
wins,
Yeah,
you guys go battle it out.
there's gonna be a finish.
Yeah.
You know, and then they started sanctioning it, and now it's like 5-minute rounds and
Yeah.
3 5-minute rounds or 5 5-minute rounds.
For the championship, yeah.
It's so great.
Did you watch this past main event that just came? Was it last week? DC and
Yeah. Stipe?
yeah.
Stipe,
Who do you want?
DC?
Who do you want that?
Of course, Stipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he would win too. I wanted DC to win and have his cool ending, but I don't know. I feel like
I knew Stipe was going to win.
Yeah.
And I knew it because I was watching the interviews going, or the press conference, because I watch all that. Like I watch the weigh-ins, the press conferences, the fight itself, and then the post. You know, the post.
it's always cool to
press
see
conference.
how their perspective changes from before
Yeah.
to like if they're talking shit or if they're doing that to after how they either get humbled or whatever they think. It's pretty cool. I enjoy that.
Whenever I was watching it, like I was watching DC, and DC just seemed like this showman. He seemed like a showman. You know what I mean? He was like, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna wrestle, I'm gonna take, just single legs for days.
He's
you
never
know?
fucking like
Never went for the
No.
in the first round. First round, he went for a takedown, but Stipe got right back up.
yeah.
And but he was just too showman, and Stipe was just stoic. You know, he was just like, it is what it is. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna get my chance. And I just knew it's just the way that he was talking,
Oh, okay.
right? And then in the second fight, because this was the third one, right? So
Yeah,
So
totally.
in the first one, I had Stipe.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, Stipe's like the greatest heavyweight champion of all time.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna beat DC. DC knocks him out. Right? Then I was like, ooh, I forgot what we were talking about. DC's never lost a heavyweight. He wrestled heavyweight. He
Yeah.
was a heavyweight. What's the name of the organization he came from?
DC?
Yeah, I forget what. he was a heavyweight pretty much his entire career.
One of the lower tier ones that we don't talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Like I couldn't even think of it. Speaking of which, not to get off topic, while I'm still on topic, but did you know Kevin Hart has a fighting thingamajig?
Campaign type thing?
Yeah,
going?
he's
Or fighting...
PFL, professional fighting.
No.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
Like a UFC, like, fighters
MMA,
trying to take a
yeah.
league, and he has the...
Yeah, we are not qualified to talk about this, but
No, we definitely are. We definitely are not. Because that
I'm
just blew my mind.
Yeah, but anyway, but Kevin Hart has one. Yeah, Kevin Hart has one.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. He has like fucking everything, so it doesn't surprise me. It's such a weird thing to like.
You would
have.
never have thought. Like
Yeah.
I would never have thought. But a friend of my roommate's friend, right? He's Bubba Jenkins, and if you guys are wrestlers out there, there's a good chance you just creamed your pants a little bit.
Bubba Jenkins.
Yeah, Bubba Jenkins is a beast. He's a monster. But he fights for Kevin Hart's thing now. Yeah.
That's such a weird.
Yep.
What were we saying before we got off? Oh, the DC thing. So then.
Oh, so the first fight I had Stipe, right?
They knocked out.
DC knocks out Stipe.
Yep.
Second fight, I was like, oh man, you know what? I forgot DC. He's undefeated in heavyweight, and the only reason he went down to light heavyweight is because Cain Velasquez is his really good friend.
And he didn't want to fight.
He didn't want to fight Cain. So, which I don't blame him. I think Cain is he's the scariest dude that's ever been in the UFC, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And apparently a really nice guy, from what I hear.
I hear the same thing.
But DC was, so he dropped down, and now I'm thinking, okay, he can beat him in the second fight, and then Stipe beats him, right?
Yeah.
Which is with body shots. Who would have
It
thought?
really was.
Who would have
right
thought
when the
that-
body shots started happening, you can see him just being like, dude, he just started taking hits hard.
But who would have thought a guy with a stomach like that, you know what I mean, like, would go down by body shots? I would never.
It really was just the change in that. I watched the fight again because I think they had the free fight on YouTube probably, but I watched it again, and just like he was taking all these headshots and going forward. I'm like, damn, dude. And then out of nowhere, it just fucking just body shots and body shots. I'm like, dude.
See, I'm a wrestling guy. Like I've always loved wrestling, so I typically go for the wrestler. But and I don't know much about standing up and fighting like that kind of stuff, right? I'm more of a grapple guy. I've always liked jiu-jitsu and I like wrestling and stuff like that. But it doesn't seem smart to me in the second fight to take your hands. This is one-on-one and put them down. That's what DC did.
Dude, he was
just
walking
into
forward.
it was like his hands were tied, his arms
He
were
was
tied.
going
He couldn't
forward,
hold his
walking.
own
And I was
fists.
like, dude, what is he doing? That's with like any fight ever. Like you just defend yourself, but he's walking forward. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I don't care. Just you can fight like you're like back in the 1920s. You know what I mean? I don't care. Just keep your hands up. He was just walking into him. He was so cocky in that fight.
Yeah.
And that's what got him put out. But what was even more insane was Stipe. I'm going back to what I was saying. Stipe. I knew he was going to win that second fight whenever I saw the interview, but I was in the back of my mind. I was like, if DC wins, I'm not going to be upset because I can see this happening, but he had that same stoic mindset, right? And I was like, I guess if I really thought about it, I was blah blah blah. And then the third fight, I saw that same attitude on Stipe, and I was like, I just know he knows something that he knows something, and he's going to win this fight. But I would have known that had I not saw the second fight.
Okay.
Yeah, that interview. It was just something in his face where he was just like, "I'm so tired of being here. I don't want to fight this guy anymore."
Like, let me just.
Let me just throw him away.
Yeah, let me just shut him up. Let me just finish it off and let's just go.
In DC, I mean, nobody takes a loss harder than DC.
He does take
so hard.
Well, I felt bad because that one time he took the loss to with John Jones when he got the second time when he got knocked out.
Yeah.
And like he was still kind of like didn't know he knew where he was, but they interviewed him in the octagon when he just got knocked down, which I thought like should never happen anyway.
Well, even Joe says I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I should have.
He goes, I knew better. I just for some reason it's impulse, and he just went over there and interviewed him. But yeah, he was crying. It's okay. He just got knocked out, dude. Like by not just knocked out, but knocked out by arguably the greatest fighter of all time.
Exactly. He's probably which he vacated the title, which is again.
He's going up to heavyweight.
Is he though?
Yeah.
Is he gonna fight?
That's
the whole thing I've been hearing.
So, from what I understand, Francis Ngannou is going to have the first crack at Stipe because Francis was he's just been kind of salty that he didn't get the chance.
Yeah, and he's coming off a knockout win.
Yeah, Rosenstruck.
Rosen, who just fought too and he won, but but he knocked that dude out cold. Like,
here's what because Stipe was saying, he knocked him out, like flatlined him with no technique. Like he just ran up.
He really had nothing. He just went after him, and finally called him. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that was scary. That was scary.
Yeah,
now, it wasn't
scary.
as bad as the Alistair uppercut, right?
The straight uppercut that looks like.
You ever played? What's that? Red and Blue Robot Soccer?
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's what Alistair looked like, except for instead of his head going up like a Pez dispenser, he went up and back and down. Right? It was
bad.
Oh man, you would have thought Oswald was in the top corner, with a rifle. That's what it looked like. It looked like Kennedy getting shot in the face.
Dude, it was fucking bad. I remember watching that a few times, highlight reels, all that shit. Wait till the next month. Well, we have two more main events coming up this next month. You know which one's Israel Adesanya?
Izzy versus Costa.
And then the Habib.
That's the fight I was talking about yesterday.
And then Habib and
Gaethje. Yeah, so I'm going to go on record and say.
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on both.
All right, so I think Costa is going to get lit up. I think he's going to get lit up. I think he's going to get technically outstruck. I think the best person to beat Izzy in that division would be Yoel. But that fight was so boring.
It was very. Yeah. It's not gonna happen again.
No. Not like. But that he would be the best because Izzy had trouble with Gastelum, right? Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah.
He had trouble with Gastelum, but that was because he was always worried. Like he had another technique. He was worried about the takedown, so he wasn't protecting just different places. And Gastelum just turned it into a dogfight.
Yeah.
And then Yoel is a wrestler, and not just a wrestler, but an Olympic wrestler.
Yeah.
So he could have easily, I'm not going to say defeat Izzy, but definitely turned it into a dogfight. He just didn't. They were both playing counter. And I think Yoel, or Paulo Costa, he doesn't really wrestle. He's not really, he's not that guy. And he's playing Izzy's game, but he's not as technical as Izzy, and Izzy's going to light him up.
Yeah. That's my...
Just in case you guys want that.
Yeah. Izzy, I also believe.
The way I think.
Well, it's true because it really is comes down to he's very, or I forgot how he words it. I don't throw and pray or whatever. I aim and fire or whatever. Pretty much he's very precise and all that shit. And so I also agree. That's my pick to win that one. What about the Habib and Gaethje?
Gaethje's gonna beat him.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, let me hear this.
So
I think I know why, but
I always hear about Khabib's pressure. And me loving wrestling and wrestling for so long, I hear about his pressure. I don't hear about his ability to take down. And Gaethje has an amazing takedown defense.
He's a wrestler.
Yeah. He uses his wrestling as a base to stay on his feet to utilize his boxing.
Yeah, because he loves fucking striking.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
And I just don't think like Khabib's gonna take him down. I'm not crazy. Eventually he's gonna get a takedown, right? And I think Gaethje's gonna get right back up. And it's going to be a stand-up fight for the most part. And, if Ferguson couldn't stand up with Gaethje...
Ferguson got lit the fuck up.
Bro, I kind of feel bad for Tony because he took that fight so...
It was a different fight, and he took it very
He was
short
preparing
notice.
for
a wrestler.
Yeah, he was preparing for Khabib.
Yeah.
And he was... that was something else, man.
He was just not ready, man.
Nope, he was not, and we saw it. I didn't call that, by the way. I didn't call that fight at all. I was like, I got Tony.
That's what I did too. I'm like,
Tony's gonna get him. He's gonna put him out. He's gonna submit him quick. And he went for an Arminari roll. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Arminari roll. He went for way too late in the fight.
Fourth round. I think fourth round. I think.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you?
I was
getting lit up this whole fight.
And now you want to try to take it to the ground, and dude, those were bombs. Gaethje,
bro. You can hear them. That's one thing now with the crowd not being there.
Punches.
With the crowd not being there, it's great because you didn't hear everything. You can hear more of the shit talking, more of the punches landing. You can hear it so loudly. I'm like, fuck.
Dude, what about? Did you watch the
basketball one.
No. Like I knew that was going to happen too.
Yeah,
I think
everyone.
this is it's not a popular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think Ben Askren would have done the same thing to him.
Really?
Had he not gotten caught with the knee, because that's Askren's fighting style.
Yeah.
He's a wrestler. He wants to wrestle, right? So
Yeah.
if Ben would have got a hold of him, I think he could have done the same thing. He just got caught so quick.
That's just a weird thing because he got caught so quick. People don't know what could have been or how good. Like for example, I give to because I started watching UFC like, later on. Like not, I haven't been watching. Like my friend Zach, he's been watching since the beginning. He's a huge fan.
Right.
For example, I didn't know much about Jose Aldo. Like I didn't know like how he dominated for 10 years featherweight, undefeated.
You just saw him get
I just saw him knocked out by
McGregor.
Conor. So
Yeah.
then everyone, but I'm smart enough to look back and know it. But people that aren't doing that are like, dude, like Conor's like knocked out. That guy sucks. Like Jose fucking, he knocked him out quick.
Like,
Talk shit to him, did that.
And this was, you're not just talking about like Jose now, right? Who's,
Yeah.
Who's getting older, obviously. He's in a bit of a rough patch. You were talking about the champion
Yeah.
of like the guy who would kick your legs until there was nothing else going
Yeah.
for you. And he was, that's who Conor knocked out. He knocked out the man.
Yeah.
He didn't just knock out, some tomato can. You know what I mean? He
Ooh.
knocked out the
Some
guy.
tomato can.
He knocked out the dude, and although was so scary, he was the boogeyman for a minute.
Yeah.
That's a common fighting term I hear a lot, so I like to throw it around.
Yeah, we
But he was
just throw out
boogie-
big terms and
Yeah.
seem like we're smarter than we know. Like we know what we're talking about.
I am not smart.
That's the main thing I take from everything. I'm like, I'm not really that smart. I just like to talk a lot about like comedy, fighting, and just about it, and just anything.
I just like to talk. I mean,
Yeah.
and not being on stage is horrible.
It's so bad, isn't it?
It's so bad
It
because
takes
I
the
have
life
no outlet. I have no outlet. Like I'll wake up in the morning, man, and I'm just like, I'll find something funny to say, and then I'll try to work that into my conversation. Lately, like I'll just be sitting
If you
there.
have like a new bit, a new joke, like if someone please talk to me about dogs. It's just,
And my bits are they're small stories, right?
oh yeah.
So I'll be, I'll just be sitting there playing the game with Justin, and go, yeah, man. So I was walking through this like open field with my headphones in because I don't like. And he's like, "Are you doing a bit right now?" Like it obviously sounds like a
Yeah.
bit because there's no like I'm trying to work it into the conversation. It's just not working.
There's
There's no perfect way to get into it. Whenever you're playing a Smash Brothers game, but that's all we do.
I definitely speaking. I want to go like I either want to like. You guys don't play N64 Smash or wouldn't be want to do that.
Who has an N64 anymore? I know you do, but like
controllers.
Who else?
It's an OG, man.
Like
Or I also feel like I can play.
we're on the Nintendo Switch. You
Who's
know
the
how far-
who's the best one there? Is it Justin?
Yeah, Justin's for sure the best one there. I beat him from time to time though. I think if we played 5 games, I think I could win like 2.
See, I feel like because I'm pretty good at video games, and if I were to start trying to play that game, I would be.
You would just be sucked into it, and
I would
you
be
wouldn't-
very good. Well, I don't know if you knew this about me, but so when I was growing up, when I was 14, I was a professional video gamer.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so when I was
By the way, don't know a lot about you.
yeah, that's why we have this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
No, when I was 14,
This is
I
how
played-
this is how we hang out though.
Yeah.
Like entertainers. Like we don't
really
hang out.
It really is. This is it.
You do something else and then you hang out for a little bit later, or you go on their podcast and then that's just how you learn people.
That it really is.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about everyone I've had on so far. There's things that we talked about. I'm like, I didn't know you fucking had a degree in dance and did that or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, oh shit. Because we're just at Mike's bullshitting, talking shit about everybody.
If you have a degree in dance, you don't have a degree.
I'm going to edit that part out for my last guest. But
I'm kidding.
she's
I'm
very
kidding.
talented. No,
I'm
she's actually
kidding.
a good comic. And, no, it's fine.
Obviously.
I'm leaving all this in there.
That's fine. Yeah, leave it. No, yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Leave it
Which
in there.
I think is
And obviously
the right
it's a
thing.
joke because
I know.
I don't know that person.
I'm getting my degree in acting. I'm not anybody. Come on.
Also not a degree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm very much. I use the army money to get a degree in acting.
What
so.
do you got a BC?
No, I just. How do I
Is
say?
it
it?
AD?
No, I took classes at a school. I used the Army money to get my GI Bill, but I have, I guess, like a 2-year degree in Intel studies, but also like, and I guess acting as well. But then another school I went to didn't transfer with credit, so. And then the school after that, I just did online, but I did it more to get money. When you do college, when you have the Army, you get money for rent.
Mm.
So I was doing that just to kind of stay afloat and do acting classes, but none of them really transferred over to get a degree, which I probably should have done. But also, you don't really need an acting degree, I think, because
Yeah, you don't need acting.
because
I feel
if
like,
you get the, I mean, if you're talented, you get it, or if you don't, you know what I mean. I don't think.
so my uncle's a very talented mechanic. Never went to a mechanic school, right? But he lives in a small town in Kentucky, right? And got a job as a mechanic with no actual credentials. He's just really, really good. You know what I mean? And I feel like entertainment or living in a small town is the only, like outside of living in a small town where, literally there's 100 people and they know you as the mechanic.
Mhm.
I feel like acting is the only thing where you can be like, I'll just work hard and get into it.
Yeah.
Or in entertainment in general, not just acting. I'll just work hard and get into it. I don't need to take classes, because the best ones don't. The best ones to me, like the best actors, the best comedians, the best magicians, they don't take the classes. They just work really, really hard and then get into it anyway. That's to me, because, I don't know, it teaches you different. Does that make sense?
No, I was talking about taking classes. I had this exact or similar conversation with my last guest. I don't believe in taking like comedy classes or any shit like that. I feel like same opinion. I feel like, but I didn't know that I didn't know she taught a comedy class.
Mm.
So then we talked about it. I don't think comics should do it because I feel like they're trying to find a way around bombing. They're trying to be so prepared to be like, I had this down so they won't bomb. But I was like, dude, you have to bomb just for months. Just go and you learn, and that's what you have to do. But I feel like if you take that and you're using it as like a crutch to kind of be like, I'm not going to bomb the first time. It's like, dude, you're always going to bomb.
The way that I think, like, there's no way not to teach you to be like the person teaching you, right? At least a little bit, right? Like think of like if I'm teaching a comedy class, bless you.
It's cough.
Oh, that's a cough.
It was good to be. I was like, cough though, not a COVID cough.
Okay, cool. I was like, you know what? In my coughing right now, I have a
just allergy cough.
But like, okay, so you have a comedy class and you're teaching it. There's no way that I can teach you how to be funny on stage and not think of myself, because it's the only thing that I can think of. Like what makes me funny is being just the 100% me, and then doing that in public gets a laugh. But that's the only way that I could do it,
Yeah.
I could talk about that forever. But there's no way that I can, so you're gonna have a little piece of me, whenever you're on stage.
Yeah.
That's
one thing she was talking about too. That she's trying not to be like most teachers. Have the comic be more like the teacher. Like.
Yeah, and that's not, okay, third time's a charm, bro. All right, one more time, my mask coming on. But
It's funny because it's like a daily thing. 'Cause I have asthma too.
Yeah.
So it's especially this season, like it just happened. Like that's when my allergies and asthma kick off, and like I when I cough, it's because of that. I know it's because like the temperatures and all that crap. But every time I'm in a grocery store, I try so hard not to cough because I'm like, dude, people are gonna freak the fuck out.
Right.
So no third cough.
It's always I'm kidding, but I cough. I know you don't have it. You wouldn't invite me over if you had it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have accepted it if I had
Yeah.
it, because we're adults.
Yeah, we're very safe.
Yeah.
There's hand sanitizer there that I forgot to tell you to use.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, hand sanitizer's kind of stupid anyway.
Damn it, I had a cough.
Right? What?
I got a cough.
Do it, man.
You know what it is? It's
But don't face me,
just like that. I think I'm good now. I hope I'm
think
good.
You got it? You think you got it?
I don't know. I'll take the little no homo tickle on my throat. Trickle?
Trickle?
I don't know.
Tickle in your throat? Does
That's
it start
on
in your esophagus, or is it going like?
It's
starting
like up here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit
I
all
don't know
this
what that's
out.
called.
Wait, we got so off topic. So we're talking the comedy. Yeah, being like the teacher.
That can happen. Like, have you noticed that whenever you go off topic, for whatever reason, that those are usually the best conversations.
Yeah, because we
Right.
went.
They make for terrible podcasts.
Yeah.
But like they're the most fun conversations to have.
Cause
I keep trying to draw it back to whatever it was, and then talk about it. But I'm like, oh, now I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
So we're going here, then here, then here. It's like playing a game of tennis.
Which I like. It's like that because we went from like talking about the video game thing, doing that to comedy to just and which is like fine. We can like again. I don't want any structures. Like whatever we talk about.
Dude, and you know what? The cool thing is, those are the best conversations if we get to stick to them for a minute. But then we always forget about the last thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just structurally, it doesn't work. But it's fun,
Yes.
you know. And I'd prefer to have fun, especially in these COVID times, man.
It's
But anyway, back to hand sanitizer for a second.
Yeah.
That stuff's gonna kill the world.
How's it gonna kill the world?
It's too sterile. It's too
Back
sterile.
to
You're not
heaven.
supposed to. You're supposed to have germs, guys. You're supposed to have some. That's that way your body fights it and learns how to fight it.
Okay.
Right? You like that kills 99.9% of germs
Yeah.
for up to I think it was something like 30 minutes. They did like a test or something like that. Like and it you know it gets weaker and weaker as the time goes on. But still, like you're putting that on. You got 30 minutes of that being anything, and then after that, it's like killing 2% of germs and all that. But it's also killing good germs that you need that your body's like fighting. Like if you keep killing the germs, what does your body learn to fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you get an illness, and this is an old Carlin bit you can look up if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
That dude was so ahead of his time.
Yeah. You really. I watch stuff like
Dude.
now clips. I'm like, dude, that's stuff that's happening like very
Right
much.
now.
Yeah. Very much ahead of the time.
He was so ahead of his time, and he does not get the love for being as funny as he actually is. Like he because people always go, oh, he's a social commentator,
He
right?
rants a lot. He just did whatever. He didn't really have.
When he was being funny, he was funnier than like I bet you if you put him up at the store, right, and you had that massive lineup of 12 people, I bet you he would like if he was just focused on funny and not trying to get like a point across, he'd floor most of the people. I really believe that because he was so funny too. Like look up one of these days or you at home, look up hanging plants. Right?
Hanging plants.
It's a George Carlin bit from whenever he was younger, but the hanging plants bit will kill you. It'll floor you. Like it's so funny, and it's just him being funny.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have any, there's no agenda.
Got it.
And like yeah, and it's he does not get the credit that he deserves. I think,
So is that one of your like?
and he gets a lot of credit. By the way.
He does get a lot of.
Yeah, but he just doesn't get like
The
for
right.
being funny. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
like,
I think he gets more credit for being like, is it making a point, having
Yeah,
like being
yeah.
ahead of his time, he's smart for this and making that great point, but not for just being funny.
Yeah, and don't like I read go on any Carlin like esque bit that you see that goes goes viral. It goes viral, you know, like he put one out in 1999 and it goes viral today. Read the comments. It's always like I wish Carlin was here in 2020 to see this day. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
you know, they always say that like just so they can make fun of this, right? And but nobody's ever like, man, I want to laugh at a Carlin bit,
yeah,
right? And he so deserves that.
gotcha. Okay,
Because-
so he gets a lot of credit, but just not that specific credit.
Right.
What you think he should have, or what he should get?
Because
That specific credit.
like I said, when he's being funny and you could tell that he's like got no agenda, he's just having fun and he's
Yeah.
you know he's funnier than like the majority than a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I need to watch more Carlin. 'Cause not that I don't. I got into comedy and entertainment late in life anyway. I didn't grow up watching stand up too much. I did that all after the army.
Right.
So there's a lot of comics, older comics, and like stuff prior, and everyone that I just for the length of time I've been in LA, am now looking up their bits and seeing what influence they had. But I don't know. I'm not too familiar with any of his stuff.
Yeah, dude. I mean, well, Stuff. He's got a bit called Stuff about
Well, there
stuff.
you go.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a very well written bit. You know,
Okay.
to me, Carlin was he was a wordsmith, man. That guy could put words together. But I forget now. Now I forget exactly where I was going with that. I was riding on your point, and then my brain went,
Yeah.
I think I need more coffee, and then I went, oh
Yeah.
shit, wait. Can I get more coffee though?
Yeah.
Oh.
So then coffee help, or slow down drinking coffee, or slow down drinking alcohol and
On
coffee.
alcohol, drinking. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I cut it down to once a week. So that is, and you know me, I was drinking like 7 nights a week.
Yeah. Well, I think same. Like, at least a few a night just because of open mics and trying to go out there.
Dude, it was getting rough. Like, I'm kind of glad that this COVID thing hit because I could look at that.
Oh.
Like, I woke up and they were just like, I mean, I was drinking. I was putting them down. I was like, oh no, Matt, look at this. Okay, and then I slowed down, so now I drink once a week, every Sunday.
Oh, you have your day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started slowing down. So when my coffee started spiking.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
You gotta have something to replace it.
Dude, it is, yeah. But now I feel like a crackhead all the time. Like,
Just
I'm
with this
always
coffee?
yeah, just like.
Oh, because you're probably jittery as
I'm
fuck.
all the time, dude, and I'm already jittery. Like, I wake up in the morning, and I'm already like, my legs are always bouncing. I've always got something in my hands.
Well, it's better to be doing that than being like hungover every day. 'Cause sometimes if you get hungover, you don't start your day till like 2 in the afternoon. Then you're behind.
And next thing you know, the sun's going down, and you're
And
like,
you're oh fuck.
what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, I'm at a point now with hangovers where it takes like before it'd be like the next day I was fine, but now like I take into account like that night I'm wasted by drinking, then the next morning, the next day I don't work out, I don't do anything productive because I'm hungover, and it all just trickles
So
over.
have you heard? And this is I'm not paid by these guys, okay? But this is just this is
This is our first sponsor of the show.
Yeah, no, I promise you, I have no. I just love this stuff. It's called Cheers. It is the greatest pill ever created. Okay.
Okay.
It like
You have
what
my
you do,
attention.
what you do, and this it sounds like I should be getting paid by these guys. How hard I'm gonna plug them, right? But you take 3 pills before you go to bed, after your drinking day. You wake up, right, and it's like there's no hangover. Your hangover is non-existent, and you move on. Now I'm 26. I know I look like I'm 46. All right, but so my hangovers were never horrible anyway. But lately, my hangovers were getting bad, and I needed to start looking into this stuff.
Yeah.
It has changed the drinking game.
Where do you get Cheers from?
Just go online.
So you can't buy like a Target.
No,
or something?
maybe I don't know. I've never. I buy it online, and I just have them send me the.
And they're affordable. How much are they?
Also don't care. I don't know. I literally like click. Just
Also, do not care. I've got to order it now because I that's one thing.
And here's a cool thing too. It's not just a pill; it's a vitamin. So they're vitamins that
Okay.
help your liver. From what I understand, they help your liver process faster because you wake up and then your liver starts kicking into action. And then you start processing the alcohol. So from what I've read, and it just helps your liver like as soon as you're done drinking, start kicking it in, and then you basically sleep your regular 8 hours, and then you wake up and it's like, where did my wait no I'm supposed to be sick right now.
Okay.
Like, it's insane.
Oh, I'm definitely going to order it and try it.
Try
Because there's times where if I go out drinking or whatnot, the next day I'm out of commission for like, I don't get my workout in the morning, I don't do that, and I just start late and I feel like
2 days.
Yeah, like legit, and then the end of that day, it's like already nighttime, like you said, I'm like, oh, well, I might as well just do this and watch a show or like,
Right.
so if I can eliminate that.
It's literally like, and I again, I'm not plugging this. I just want to make, because trust me, if I could be making money off of this,
If I edit this, I'm gonna put their logo here. Cheers.
Right? But anyway, I swear by that stuff, man. Right? You can
Okay.
take like 3 to 4, depending on how bad you think that the hangover is gonna be. Right? Like some nights I just do 2, and that's not even recommended. Like they recommend 3 and up. But I'll take like 2 pills if I have like if I drink a 6-pack. And then like I'll take like 2 pills and I'll be like, I'll be fine in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Today, but I don't. I'm running low, so I didn't.
I was just
take
about
any
to say, 'cause
yesterday.
you said you were drinking last night. You're hungover
Yeah.
today.
Very hungover, but because I didn't take the pills because I'm running low and I don't want to. Like I'm like, all right, I'll fight this hangover.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with my life, guys.
Fine.
I'm like, is this hangover worth the Cheers pills,
Yeah.
or is it?
Or can I just be out of commission for tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. Tomorrow, I gotta wake up and I'm gonna go do a podcast. I haven't done anything in 7 months. Okay, nothing, not a thing. So I'm a street performer, right?
Yeah.
I do 12 shows, 12 sets a day. You know what I mean? Like I'm used to doing 12 sets. What's up, man? I'm used to doing 12 sets a day. You know what I mean? Performing on a street where you build a big crowd. I'm not just a guy who walks over and does a trick for
Yeah,
one
he does
person.
crowds out there.
I- build a giant crowd, and then I entertain that crowd. A lot of people think that I just walk up to one person, and I'm like, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Just going one-on-one, big, hey, look at this trick.
Yeah, I'm like, by the way, if you're a bar magician or anything like that, that's fine. But I'm talking about, like...
What's the bar magician just someone that does magic and goes to a bar and just shows
Nailed it.
one person, or one, like, is it more like, is that to more pick up girls, though?
No, I think... No. You can get hired by a bar. To be,
Oh,
to be a magician.
that's why I know the levels. I didn't know if you meant, like, just like me learning magic, going to a bar and be like, hey girl, let me just...
By the way, that doesn't work. All right? It's a great icebreaker, right?
Yeah.
Like, magic is a great icebreaker, but after that, you're the kid show magician, all right? And nobody wants to fuck a kid show magician,
Yeah.
right?
If there's anything you guys can take from this episode, is no one wants to fuck a kid show magician.
Nobody. Not a single person. That's why I don't do them.
Oh, this...
Anyway, where were we? Oh, so I do
where?
12 sets a night.
12 a night, yeah.
I do 12 sets a day, and then I go and I do comedy at night, right? Like stand-up, like magic stand-up comedy at night. So that's like 13 to 14 to maybe 15 sets in a 24-hour span. So, or not even 24, a day.
Yeah.
So all of that is gone. I have no idea what to do with myself. Not a single thing. Like, that's my whole life. My whole life is entertainment.
Yeah.
Right? I wake up in the morning. I go street perform in a place that I won't say, right? Because it's my spot. Y'all stay away, other street performers, right? And
Is
I
there
go,
a beat? I'll ask you after. Go ahead.
but yeah, I'll go out there, right? And I'll do my shows, and then it's yeah, I just the entire day, and then at night I'm like, I want to go get more sets in, but I'm going to work on stuff that I couldn't work out on the street.
Okay.
Comedy clubs are like a safe place for the it's a safe space for the word fuck. Like I'll be able to throw that around and work out some jokes that I couldn't say in front of a family-friendly kind of environment. Not that my shows are family-friendly anyway.
I don't think they.
I just do them, like I do them on the street, but I just like eliminate the cuss words. Like I call kid, like, I'm like, what's your name, kid? And he'll say like Johnny, and I'm like, all right, cool, kid, come here. And I'll just like grab him, like I grab him by the shirt and pull him onto the, like I do not. Anyway, I'm a terrible kid show entertainer.
Yeah.
But so don't argue for that if you watch this.
Don't. Also, no one's watching.
Yeah, I figured that. I'm always just I'm optimistic.
Hey, more optimistic than me. No, I'm kidding.
But you know what? That is the cool thing. I forget, dude. I'm so off topic.
We've been jumping. We've been jumping. Well, all right. Let's start with this thing because you said something that reminded me of the whole.
Was it losing my mind? Because I feel like I'm losing my mind.
It might be that.
I'm not even kidding.
It might be that. You talked about 12 sets. Oh, pretty much you having no outlet for whatever. So is that why? Because you said at your house you're trying to start like a stream thing, you and your roommates for the gaming.
Dude, I'm on TikTok. I post the other day. I posted 10 videos on Instagram.
In one day?
In one day.
You don't want to space them out to get more.
You would think.
Yeah.
Right? But in my brain, I was like, you know what? Screw this. 10. Pow, 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 pow. And I just put out 10 videos.
Dude, I would have planned that for like a week and a half, like just kind of.
But my brain doesn't stop, Patrick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't stop. It's bit, magic. Does not quit. And I just go. And then I have to do that many sets a night. That way I can get everything off of my chest and then sleep good at night. And now I've been getting nothing off of my chest. You know what I mean? Now I'm just tossing and turning going, all of these ideas are driving me insane.
It is a weird adjustment.
I've filled up 3 notebooks.
Damn.
I'm not kidding. And I'll show you my notes in my phone. It is insane. This is all stuff that's happened during COVID.
What's the most recent note you put up there?
I'll let you know right now. All right, so check this out. Look at this. This is all from COVID. All jokes for COVID.
Jesus.
Yep. Since COVID's happened. That in 3 notebooks.
Fuck.
Right.
What's the most recent idea?
I don't want to read that one actually. It's not worked out yet. So it just sounds like hate speech.
Very anti. Oh, I got you.
It's actually about Thomas Edison, but I was just joking. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
So, but like whenever you write it down on paper, you're like, I want to expand on this bit.
Before.
Yeah. So like, there's nothing here. This is.
Are you the type of comic that would share or like work it out the comic before you try it on stage? Like, oh, hey, like your
No.
roommate, like,
So-
oh hey, Louise, Justin, hey, I got this bit about this, and what do you think about that?
I used to do that, right?
Okay.
I used to do that, and now it's to a point where if I do that, like if I did that for everything that popped into my head and every joke that pops into my head,
Yeah.
Justin would stab me. You know what I mean? He'd be like, "We got to get rid of this guy. He's just too annoying." You know, so I just can't do that anymore. But if I have one that I'm like a video idea,
Yeah.
right, and I'm like, "Hey, Justin, you think this would be a funny sketch?" And then I you know,
Okay,
I'll run that by him. You know, especially if he's going to be in it.
gotcha.
You know, and then we go from there. But usually here I'll read one of the things that just popped up, but I don't want to read that one because it's Thomas Edison, and that's like, and I'm trying to do this like Tesla thing. That's my very latest one,
Okay.
and it just sounds because I'm on Edison's side in this one, right? So I'm just taking because everyone picks Tesla,
Okay.
so I was like, you know, so if I read this, people would go, oh yeah, you're killing elephants.
Let me just
You know,
try
I'm on
that.
my side. Yeah, it's not funny right now. All right, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
but it's
no,
an idea.
that's very
yeah.
clear. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. WAP turns to FAP when you turn the song on silent. So
Wet,
the song WAP.
Yeah. Wet ass
WAP,
pussy.
Yeah, it's wet ass pussy.
Yeah.
Turns into FAP whenever you turn the song on silent, or whenever you put the video on silent. Right. FAP is masturbation. So it's like, you know, that play.
Okay.
Again, none of this is funny immediately. You gotta
Yeah.
you work it
Or
out.
maybe even with time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could throw that away immediately. You know what I mean? Like,
it's clever. If anything, it's clever. Or
Yeah. see, and then I have a
there's
note.
thought into it.
Yeah, exactly. So
If
we'll
anything.
see. We'll see if I can put that anywhere, and then if I can't, I throw it away. You know what I mean? Like, but right
but
here,
you don't know. Like you can't try it anyway.
yeah, that's my point, man. I can't. It's just gonna be in my phone, right? Like this right here. It says nipples that look like uvulas. All right.
What's the uvula?
That's that thing, that dangly ball in
Oh.
the back of your throat,
Yeah.
right? And that yeah,
That's
gonna be in my
First,
phone.
I thought it, recognized what it was, and then pictured a nipple looking like that, and I'm like, okay.
right?
Okay.
Where you had the little dangly ball,
Yeah.
and then you picture nipples like that.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's gonna be in my phone until I find out where to put it in the act. You know what I mean? And then see if it's funny. And then, you know, it's probably not gonna. In fact, it's not gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I go into every joke. I go into every joke going, "This is gonna suck." So let's give it a shot.
Very, very optimistic.
No, very pessimistic.
Not
Yeah.
kidding.
And then I just throw it away.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that will literally be in my phone until I find a funny place for it. But I think it's such a funny image.
Yeah. The
Nipples
image
that
definitely
look
gave
like
me.
uvulas.
The image definitely. Oh.
Yeah.
So now you need an outlet for this. So you're doing you're changing the name. You're going to call it the Smash House.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna do a YouTube show. This has nothing to do with.
To be clear, let's clarify.
Yeah, and before we'll talk about Smash House and why that's no longer gonna be the name, and I gotta bring that up to a couple people. And you have to bring. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna do a YouTube thing where it's called Me the Human.
Me the Human.
Yeah, Me the Human, because everybody looks at me and they go, "Hey, it's the magic guy. It's the magic guy. He's the
Okay.
magician. He's the illusionist." And I want to do like Me the Human. Like I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna talk about all this. It's basically a podcast, but just me sitting in front of the camera. You know what I mean? Just talking into the thing. But I'm gonna have segments. You know, like audience fan questions, meme ratings where my sister sends me funny memes all the time. You know, and I'll take a look at them and I'll rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, and just do that and try to fit these jokes in to that show.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to try to do. And it is going to be a lot of bombing on camera, guys. I'm really good. But it's going to be fun. You know, it's a way to get out my...
It's a way to get out. Just content in general. It's like just putting out anything, being creative, doing that instead of not doing that.
Yeah.
I always feel like it's a good thing. When people tell me about, I'm doing a podcast or just sketch or chat, I was like, dude, do anything you want. That's why I'm doing the Twitch gaming thing. I'm like, I just want to have content. I can have a clip put on YouTube, and it's like anything. Legit.
But here's the thing, though, right? Like, I feel like people are putting out so much garbage. Are you on TikTok?
No, I've never.
The
been on
whole
it.
thing is just garbage.
I
Like,
I don't want to. I feel like I can't go to that level. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know.
Well, the whole, like, and like, okay, so I can talk to you about theory and entertainment all like literally this entire podcast. We could do a 5-hour podcast just talking about this. But TikTok is so much garbage that when you do see something cool or something funny, it's amazing, right?
Such a good theory.
Yeah. So you're literally like but nobody tries to put out like on TikTok. Nobody's trying to put out quality. Not everybody. You know what I mean? There's some people that like me. I try putting out quality all the time. Every time I make a TikTok.
Mhm.
But there's some people who just talk into the phone and they miss 100 times, and then they get that one boom and it's good.
Yeah.
But I don't want to stick around for all the misses. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And then, like, if people look into you years later, they're gonna watch a whole bunch of misses. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's my theory on like putting out content. Like people are gonna watch this whenever I'm dead. You know what I mean? Maybe if I'm if I catch on or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are gonna watch that. I don't want them to see a whole bunch of nothing.
Well, that's why. I mean,
So
Yes,
people saying content's content is basically saying like I'm just gonna put out a bunch of this stuff of me doing nothing thought out.
but I think content's content, but like I said, quality. You want to make it the best quality, which is why, like,
Can you guys see my glasses, Steven? On the right to the side of the coffee.
I saw a little bit of it right now too. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
well, I'm like, is that gonna show up? But go ahead. Yeah, I was like, dude, I'm so self-conscious. Like, it's so weird. Like, I didn't know this until quarantine hit. Sorry, we'll get back
Good. No, go ahead.
to the content thing. I'm so self-conscious, and I only noticed this now from quarantine. Like, I'm making things up in my head of like just to be entertained. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things that I know I didn't do, but could be misinterpreted. You know, like you make a joke about somebody's appearance, and they laugh at it. But later, I'm thinking, I bet you they went home and shaved their head, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I'm making up this entire scenario, and then that shaved head is gonna, then he's gonna join a Nazi group, and then that, you know what I mean?
And that's gonna snowball into this.
Yeah, it's gonna snowball, and next thing you know, he's gonna try to be the next Stalin, and then
and that's all from you.
all from me, and all of that weight and pressure is on my shoulders, and that's how I think now.
That's how you think. That's not the healthy way. I don't think.
It is not, man. But I haven't done anything for 7 months, guys.
I'm cooped up.
Cooped up. My notes show it. But yeah, content being
Well,
content.
I think just I always try to say like just make it the best quality, but put out like when I say content's content, I mean still do the best quality. Like when I knew I was like, hey, I'm doing a podcast, I didn't want to do like some other people that have like off their phone in the car or whatever at the table. I'm like, you know what? I went out, I bought this shit. I brand new table, chairs, fucking 180, whatever this is. To like at least we'll figure the podcast out, but I want to at least make it look nice for people watching. Same with the gaming thing, my stream channel. I bought a nice webcam for all that.
The fact that you have a this is enough. Like, that's trying. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no matter what you do, if you do it in front of this wall, you've tried. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
You put some thought into it. But I'm talking about the people like there's a girl on TikTok. She's a woman. I don't know. Saying girl is just so fucking
It's a
weird.
girl. It's a girl.
Yeah, it's so weird to me. It's like, because with this climate and TikTok and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and Dalia and all that kind of, just saying the term girl. Also, I was walking down the street the other day, and I thought to myself, like, I can't be kidnapped anymore. I'm at that age. I'm 26, but I can't be kidnapped. Now I'm just a hostage. You know what I mean? Like, it's not kidnapped anymore. I'm just somebody threw me into a van,
Yeah.
and it's over. Like, I'm that age now.
I'm about to say, you hit the mark above it.
Yeah, dude, I'm that age now. Like, I can't be kidnapped anymore.
Just,
that dawned on me. Yeah, and that's also in my notes, guys. I can delete that now. See how I worked it out?
I should go through all. Every time we talk, I'm gonna be talking about something. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna work in seagulls to this conversation for this bit.
But see,
And they go
see
back.
how that didn't fit, but I made it fit, and it just sounds weird and awkward and thrown up.
And definitely, I was like, well, where did he get this from? I went with things. I was like, I don't know where you got this from, but fuck it, we'll talk about this. And I had no idea.
I will do that at least one more time.
That exact bit or a different bit?
Different bit.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
different bit,
Good.
just to see how it goes.
Yeah. Thank you for your honesty. I know now if we talk about something and you just bring up like Disneyland or something, I'm like, all right, well, let's hear this bit.
Right, but here's how you do this like properly. I've learned this over the 7 months. Is you want like every now and then you take them off into a path that you don't expect to go, right? But then you make it make sense to the conversation, and then they'll be attentive for whenever you take it a completely different direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Also, I could have called it out, but I'm just not an asshole. I've been like, "Are you doing a bit? Are you doing a bit?" But I was like, "Let me hear him out. Maybe."
Yeah, maybe I was gonna bring it there.
Maybe he'll tie it in weirdly at the end.
Yeah, dude,
But,
it's literally just out of boredom. I'm not even kidding, dude. I haven't seen people like. I don't have a car either.
Yeah. Wait. So where'd you come from? Where'd
South
you live?
Central.
Shit.
Yeah, I live in South Central.
Damn. That's a mission.
Put it like this: I'm the only magician. But got it. No, but seriously though, South Central not having a car, I'm just there.
Yeah.
There's no train super close. I have to take an Uber to get to a train.
Damn.
So I'm literally inside of my house going, let's go fuck with Justin, and then try to work out a bit or something.
Well, it must be cool living with comics and like at least trying to like possibly film stuff every day or do, you know what I mean?
There's content being created right now in that house. Like somebody in that house is shooting something, doing something,
Yeah.
and that is super motivating. Like you wake up in the morning and they're already shooting, and you're like, holy crap, man.
And you're like, fuck, dude, I gotta get my shit
Yeah,
together.
I gotta start upping the ante.
That's one of the reasons I did want my two roommates, none of them are comics, but I wanted to live kind of with comics just to go create content together, go to mics or whatever the case may be, but have that.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be the people I talk to about it. We always talk about being productive and like writing every day and filming and doing this shit, and then when time comes, like playing Smash Bros or whatever game.
Right. Yeah, dude. I miss it so much, bro. Just performing and being in front of people. Also, I think people underestimate how much of an impact that has on a person's life whenever you do it for so long, right? Like people go, dude, you're just not getting up in front of people. But I've been up in front of people since I was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like doing shows and performing like that. Since I was 17, whenever I started street performing, and then you do it every day, 12 sets a day, and then nothing. You know what I mean? You got zero. So it's like people are just like, come, dude, just like move on.
It's
you're
an
like,
adjustment because I've only been doing it for 4 years, and I'm like taking it like fuck that. Like every day I did this for years, and if you've been doing it since you were 17 or whatnot, that's like even bigger. Like
I got my first.
that's your whole life.
I got my first middle spot ever at 17. Middle act, yeah. There's 3.
But we actually
One
learned
was
this
an
from
MC.
you. We talked about this. I don't know if you remember. Pre-COVID, we talked about the mid or MC
Feature,
middle
yeah.
feature and
I'm trying to call them middle acts now because I started doing some personal thinking about that. Just like because forever I was like, no, I'm a feature act, right? So it's you have the MC, then you have the feature, then you have. But a feature, like whenever you watch a movie, here's your feature presentation, right?
okay.
So I started doing some thinking like that. I'm like, why do we call it a feature? Is it just because he's featured? Like he's not the main star, but he's featured.
Yeah.
I just now thought of that too. Shit. I don't know. Anyway.
Huh.
Yeah. But so I taught you that? I taught you about that?
Yeah, we talked about this. We talked about. I was trying to find a headliner for my show, and then we talked about headlining and middle and feature briefly. But I forgot what. I don't know, probably Flappers, but I don't know what club we were at talking about it.
Probably Flappers.
Probably.
Yeah. You know what? People give that room such a bad credit. You know what I mean?
It's definitely been the topic of a few of the episodes. But
yeah, I love that room. I go up there, I slay in both of the rooms.
Okay.
Flappers. Just Flappers.
Which one do you like better, though?
Oh, I'll take the main room over the Yoo-Hoo any day.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the Yoo-Hoo.
The Yoo-Hoo's fun. It's a fun
It's
room.
just like a small, intimate. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, I like really going raunchy in the Yoo-Hoo room. Like whenever I'm in the Yoo-Hoo room, I try to go dirtier than normal.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, because I'm like these people are right there. They're
Yeah, I just thought they're right here.
Yeah.
Like, what up?
You're about to hear all of this. You know what I mean? Like whatever's going on, I'm about to give it to you. And again, I'm off topic, so you're gonna have to keep me
No.
on topic.
Well, a question I do want, I'm trying to, like I said, I have no structure for all this, but there's a few questions I like to ask everyone and try to get to. One, I'm curious with you, I guess two, I want to hear about the worst time you bombed, which I'm guessing would be probably the same time. Because I don't know anything about magic or magician stuff or whatnot.
It's the same. It depends what kind of magician you're talking to. If you're talking to me, you can talk to me like a comic because it's the same. I'm doing the same thing. I'm going for laughs, and tricks, and I'm standing up there with the microphone that's in my face, and I'm just doing.
Well, how long? Okay, so let's say. I meant more in the sense of like, so like you're learning this trick and you have the trick figured out or whatever. And is there times where you went on stage and tried a trick and in the middle you fuck it up or they can see that? Like,
how the trick's done and
yeah, like oh shit,
I really like blow a fuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what like the term is?
That's what I call it. I call it blowing a fuse because
is that what the
reason,
now the audience knows like oh you did that because
yeah, I call it blowing a fuse because I work on it a million times before it goes on stage, right?
Okay.
And then so if something messes up, something happened, in the brain. Like I'm just something had to like malfunction somehow with the prop or I was off, so I call it blowing a fuse. But I think the last time I did that, I couldn't even tell you, man.
Really?
The last time I made a mistake on stage like that. Like I'll make like you got jokes that won't land.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
fair.
And then you throw those away. But that's really where I'm at right now. Is but that's throughout your entire career that's gonna happen.
Is that one time that I guess you practice it all the time, but then you blew a fuse and you kind of like, oh, I don't want to feel this again, or I don't want them, and then you just practice it extra. I'm sure it's happened before, or
like if I did, I had. Oh yeah. But see, if I explain that, then I would basically explain how I do a trick. You know what I mean? So
I guess
that's
a good point.
Here's what I'll say though. Here's what I will say. So I do this trick where you take a small item like a nut, and you got to put it into an orange, right?
Okay.
So there's obviously a hole in the orange, right? And there's an orange. And you have a nut, and you got to stick right. And the audience isn't supposed to know that. I'm making this up as I go, but I'm trying to give you an example of basically what happens. So I'm trying to get the nut in without them seeing, right? But I'm doing it in this lunch bag, right? And the lunch bag falls to the ground, and I'm holding the orange, and I'm pushing in this nut like this, right? And it's super uncomfortable. Now everybody knows how the trick's done. They had no idea that there was a nut in my hand. Like it was all blown. And then this is another funny one. Like, and again, guys, I made that up. That's not the actual trick, but that is exactly.
That's his whole act.
Yeah,
that's his closing bit.
But then you have fake thumbs. You ever seen the fake thumbs?
Yeah, I've seen the fake thumbs. Yeah.
So I'm wearing one of those. I'm 19, something like that, and I'm waving my hand around like this to show that the handkerchief has vanished, and the thumb tip literally goes like that, like just flies into the audience.
Does it fly with the handkerchief like kind of
little tail?
Little tail.
Okay. Look like a little kite, like that. And I'm like, oh no, right? Like, how do I recover? Right? And I just did it. I was like, all right, next trick, and I just moved on. It was so uncomfortable. There's so many of those moments too. Now I'm dead. Like I'm dead to it. If I messed up, I would make fun of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the way that my act is, I make fun of magic while doing magic constantly.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, nobody wants to see this. You guys are at it. You want to see stand up, and I do that too. But I'm also gonna make this stand up and this funny. Like it just comes down to a point of me wanting to fit in. That's because it's always like I'm a magician. I do something different. I want to fit in.
Yeah, but you say, but you're very. I guess you blend together very well. And you present it in a way sort of like, hey, I know I do this thing, but also like, I know what you guys think it is, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And here, you present it in a way that's very opening, where people are on your side about it, and not just like, oh.
And that's taking it, yeah, because that's everybody's reaction.
It's like, oh, fuck magic, and you think that, but right off the bat, you're just kind of like, I know it's what you think, it's whatever.
and here's something that bugs me. And now that I have like an outlet for this, and if nobody listens to this, you know what I mean? Like this is gonna come up in my career one of these days. I just know someone's gonna be like, "But on the Patrick Jara show," you know. So there's a magician at one of the comedy clubs who is legitimately, I mean, it's just straight up thievery. And this is another reason like comedians hate magicians, right? Because they're basically 7 tricks in magic, right? There's 7 tricks. I did this, but there's basically 7.
I knew you. Okay.
So there's 7 tricks in magic, and just like there's however many primary colors, however many musical notes, you know what I mean, and then you take that and you can combine them to create different stuff. But there's a guy who is straight up ripping off other magicians, just in the comedy clubs. Like I don't know if he's around anymore because of COVID, but he was doing that. I can understand why comedians hate that, hate magicians, because magicians do that all the time.
Yeah.
They're constantly stealing, constantly ripping off. It's like this real backstab culture in magic where you're like, ooh, okay, so I want to go pay to go watch this guy try to figure the trick out and do it myself. You know?
Oh, okay.
You ever seen The Prestige?
Part of that, I didn't rewatch it, but I know who was with and whatnot.
Yeah, he's stealing tricks.
I do remember part. Okay.
That's like the magic world. So it's different. Like if a comedian did what magicians do, they like comedians would just all be Carlos Mencia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, right?
Wait, before I forget, what are the 7 types of...
Vanish, appearance, penetration, transportation. I have to write them down because I don't know what I've already said. But there's 7 of them.
Okay.
7. I did this again.
You did.
Yeah.
You also did this the first time, said 7, which I figured like they do it in Germany or Europe or something. They count with like they don't do this and do this.
I had there was a German exchange student that was at our school, and she couldn't get used to this. 3.
Yeah.
Right, because they do 3.
Yeah.
So they count like this.
No, I lived in Germany for a few years, and every time I ordered beer, I'm like, make it 2 beers, and every time 3.
That's what killed the guy in Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I get 3 whiskeys?
3, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You gave yourself away, Karen. Or whatever the line is. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I just, like, we had a topic, and then I went off on, like, so many different crazy sprees, I have no idea where I am now.
Alright. The jittery coffee, like, I don't know where the fuck we're...
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
where we're at.
And
no, I started with the question, why should would worst time we bombed?
Oh, okay, back to that. Yeah, cool. So I had the...
See, I remember...
thumb tip.
I listen.
Yeah. I don't listen to myself. Is the problem. Is like I just roll.
Right.
But so the thumb tip rolled off, flew into the audience. I did the nut and orange.
Yeah.
Kind of analogy that kind of freaked that out. I like you have little moments like that. Now I recovered very well. Like if I'm doing a rope trick and you're not supposed to see that I have a secret piece of rope in this hand, right? If I mess up, no, well, guess what? It's gonna be a new trick, and I'll just, I'll flip it around and make it make sense.
Yeah, you're a more confident performer to be like, oh, fuck that up. All right, well,
Yeah, and I mean, people talk about bombing, like on a stage, right? You want to know the worst place to bomb? On the street. Because they just walk away. They don't they're not gonna be like and cringy and stuff. They get up and then they leave and you never see them again.
That's actually good. I never thought about that. Bombing on stage to bombing like street performing.
Yeah, if you're bombing on this, because I don't really bomb anymore on the street because on the street I have one act that makes me money because that's why I'm there. I gotta make money, so I'm doing that act to make me money, and so I stick to it. So that act is worked, polished, clean. No one's walking away from that act, right? Once you see it, you're locked in. But whenever I was first starting, that was like, first of all, you have to build a crowd. You got to figure out how to build a crowd, right? That's a skill in and of itself.
Yeah, how did you start with? You have a mic, right?
Yeah, I get a little bit of a little headset.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was against them for years. I just yelling is what I did.
So what's the proper way to draw a crowd and not the best way?
Everybody has their own way.
Okay.
Right? Like, my way's my way. but you guys won't, you'll never know that. But I draw really fat crowds, and I'm one guy. Anyway, so I don't want other
You don't want
magicians
to
to
tell-
watch
yeah,
it and then
that's fair.
figure it out. But I've seen guys. Fire always works. Right? If you have anything with fire,
It's kind of true. It's like
crowds
oh, shit.
crowds just build. They just
Yeah.
build. Like if you light something on fire, all of a sudden people start gathering around, right? The breakdance crews they do this thing where they'll pretend like they're gonna do the show, right? So they're stretching and their music is just pumped through the roof, right? It's just so loud, right? It's pumped through the roof. You're outside, but it's just super super loud, and then they pretend like they're gonna get the show started. They're stretching and stuff, and then like a whole crowd stops, because they're like, oh, okay, so there's 6 people making a really big scene with the music playing, and then that just something's gonna happen, guys. We gotta stop and watch this. I got a magician friend of mine who starts off. He just gets one person interested and just starts doing tricks for that one person, and then more people just start building on top of that.
That's what I figured. People, okay,
Yeah, not me. I want to get everybody immediately.
right away. Like, hey, everyone, watch this trick.
Right.
And then you're confident knowing like your act. Like, if you see this, you're gonna
I
stick around.
won't tell you my crowd build, the one that I do or did before COVID,
Uh-huh.
because I'm still going to use that, and it's the best crowd build I've ever come up with. But what I used to do was I would take a stick, like a drumstick, and I just cut the top of the drumstick, so it's just a stick about that long, and I put it on top of a card box, and I tell somebody to, I look around for people and I go, hey man, hey you, dude, hey, do me a favor, pick up the stick, right? We're gonna do something, and then that would build the crowd like that, like so that guy interacting with the stick and the cards and picking a card, writing his name on it, and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
would build the crowd.
Okay.
Right? Because it's a weird thing to be doing in public, right? But that's my job. So that's how that crowd would build. That makes any sense.
I understand. How much would a typical day for you or a good day, money wise, be for street performing?
I always say if I make $100 a day, I'm happy. That's always
Okay.
what I say. But lately,
Pre-COVID.
pre-COVID, yeah, pre-COVID, it's you can do well. You do very well.
Okay.
I don't want to really say because again, you other street performers out there start.
Is there beef? So is there?
Okay.
Is there like the whole like if you're like right now? I don't not say where you are, but like if another street performer comes near your area, would you talk to them like, yo, man, like?
Well, yeah, because you're taking away my money. You know what I
Do
mean?
you need a permit to be out there doing
Some places.
Okay.
Like, dude, I've street performed all over this country, mainly the South. I'm from Florida, so it's like all southern states. Some places you need a permit. Some places you just show up. Some places, just depends. Like Louisiana, New Orleans, like it's my favorite place in the world. You can just post up.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah, you could just be like, and well, looks like we're doing shows right here.
Yeah. And there's magic right now. Let's
Yep.
go.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it depends where you're at, but think about it. If I have a spot, right? I'm working a pitch, and I have another magician that's competition.
Yeah.
Like immediately, like my money in my head gets cut to 50%.
sure.
Gets cut in half.
Yeah.
So you don't want anybody to know where you're at.
Have you talked to them about? Have you ever had to do that interaction where you were street performing and another
yeah.
performer came and you had to be like, hey,
Constantly. Always.
what? How does that talk? How does that go? That's what I'm curious about. What do you approach it and like, yo, get the fuck out of here? Like, hey man, I was here. I've been here. You can ask around. This is my spot. And are they cool about it, or some people are like, yo, I'm gonna do what I want?
They're usually cool about it. Like, because if you're there first, especially,
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna set up on top of you. Because that would be like the ultimate dick move, right?
Yeah.
Like you're performing, you're building a crowd, you just saw it, and then here comes a guy with an amp on a wagon,
Yeah.
and starts breaking it down. Like that would be the ultimate dick move.
Yeah.
So there, but like I've had people who just didn't care, and then I had to be like, all right, dude, you got like 10 seconds before I start beating you up because I would never. But you know what I'm saying? You kind of get stern and get a little, street performers don't like it whenever you mess with their money because we
your
all
income.
want to be on stage.
Yeah.
We all want to be stage performers. But here we are, and this is how we're making money right now. So
Have you ever had anyone have that talk with you?
No.
So you're pretty like wherever you set up your, you make sure like it's kind of a.
well, I get out there before anybody. Like I
Oh, does it claim? Is it okay?
if the spot if it's like first come first serve, I
Yeah.
will be out there before you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's just my competitive nature and
I thought it was like, so every day can change. It doesn't have to be like oh, I got the corner of 5th and 4th whatever, and that's my spot forever. Even if I'm out there early.
well, there's like street rules, like there's a dance crew that it's just that's their spot. You know what I mean?
This is like a whole. By the way, it's like a whole new world to me of like street performing and knowing all this stuff. I'm so fucking
Yeah,
curious.
there's like street rules, like for instance, so street performing has had its ups and downs. Like people can get arrested for it if you're doing it in a spot where you're not supposed to be. Yada yada.
Yeah.
So one particular rule that I think everybody on the street should abide by is if that person like wasn't supposed to perform there, but he exercised his basic rights and tried and turn that into a spot to where he can perform in freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and make a living at it, and he's been arrested for that spot and performing there, and now that's a legit spot where the cops don't mess with you anymore. That guy deserved that spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now that guy, like he's been arrested a couple times for that spot. He's he's paid his dues.
Yeah.
I believe that's his spot. And there's a dance crew out here in LA that that has done that. So
Okay.
I feel like that is their spot, and if they're cool with me. If I'm there before them, which is pretty often, I'll do I'll do shows on their spot.
Yeah.
And then like they'll come in and I'll be like, all right guys, I'm gonna move on, and then
Okay.
So
The
it's
mutual respect type thing.
yeah, it's just respectful because they went through all that shit just for that spot.
That makes sense. Have you ever been arrested doing?
I
magic?
have I know the cop's name, but I can't say it because he did something that he was once they put the cuffs on you, they're supposed to take you to
they're
jail.
not supposed to take them off.
Right.
That's the
But he did. So he put the cuffs on me, sat me down. I was like, I don't know, 17, 19, something in that late teen age. And I was performing in a place that I couldn't, and I thought I would be smart and go, hey man, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And he goes, oh yeah, boom, I'm against the wall. I get the cuffs put on me. I get sat down. I get a stern talking to, and he goes, I'm not taking you in, right? But I don't want to see you back here anymore. I was back there like 2 hours later, right? I just waited for him to move on. Yeah, so I went, and then, so he took the cuffs off me, so.
Well, damn, yeah,
Yeah, that was as close, yeah. But that was as close as I've gotten to.
But it's kind of cool to, I guess not, to get arrested for doing what you love, like magic, and telling people, like, yeah, I got arrested for doing that, and then continuing to do it. There's kind of a coolness to it, too, but...
It's its own thing, but also like that was young and dumb. What I could have done was just go, all right, man, I'll see, and then like
no pride, no ego, but hey, don't worry, I'm gonna take off. Go ahead.
Yeah, we wouldn't have even needed the handcuffs or nothing, but I had to be like, hey, man, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, and then your face is in a brick wall, or you're like, I don't like this at all.
Well, that's how I feel now. Like if I get pulled over, like part of me wants to do the whole like. Well, not to tell you that. Why am I being detained? Like
right.
stuff like what I hear.
Crack the window, fit the wall.
Yeah, just like crack for real. Like crack and be like, well, am I being detained? So am I allowed to go? Like stuff that I feel like I would be entitled to or whatnot.
Right.
But I'm so scared to do that because.
But here's the thing. Like me, I would fuck up. Like because now you're in a pressured situation like that.
Yeah.
Right, and it'd be like, am I being detained, dude? Your traffic or your turn signal's just broken, dude. That's all I'm trying to say. And I'd be like, all right, so I can leave, and then just start going, and then next thing you know, it's a high-speed chase for a broken taillight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like something. It's just, I always pictured myself doing that.
Yeah.
But I know I wouldn't. If they're just like here and your speed limit, whatever. Okay, fine. Give me a ticket, whatever. But part of me would want to do kind of how the young dumb approach and, well, am I being detained for that, or, well, can you even do that legally? I can record you, whatever all that stuff. I would want to do it and be cool or make a point, but I'm like, end of the day, if you're cool with them, they might let you go, or maybe they give you a ticket, whatever. Just move on.
Right.
But,
yeah, I'd like to do that if they started like giving me a little bit more lip than I needed. right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm in the car and the guy's like, "Hey man, green light means go," the coppers try to be like an asshole to me. Then I'd be like, "Hey man," and then try to pull that shit. But I'm not gonna do that for a regular traffic stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get pulled over and for speeding, or maybe you were going a little fast. I don't think cops really pull you over for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't buy into that all the time. But if they gave me a little bit of lip, I'd be like, "Hey man, am I being detained?" All right, I'm out of here. That's whenever I would try.
That's when you do it.
That's whenever I would.
So that's like a hit or miss because you can do that and it can work, or it can be like, oh, okay, you want to talk back? All right, and then they find some reason to.
Right, they go all walking tall on you.
Yeah, then it's just kind of like, oh, fuck, I didn't think you would call my bluff.
Right, it's like your tail light's broken. I know it's not.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, man. Have you ever used magic to get out of anything, out of trouble, or pick up on a girl?
All of the above.
You get one more cough. One more cough. That's it. There's a limit with 2 coughs on this show.
The coughing went down the wrong pipe. But yeah, I was on a Navy base, right, doing shows on a Navy base, and I got pulled over by military police. Right, the guy was a cop for that area of the base, and I got pulled over, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you're not from around here, are you? You know, like da da da." And I'm like, no, I'm just doing a show, yada yada. And I was like, I'm a magician, and I did a trick for him, and he let me go. So like I literally did, I don't know if like just a stupid rubber band trick, right?
See, I don't even know what.
I did that for him, and he was like,
that just was kind of cool looking at that right now. I'm like, oh, he broke it. Oh wait, it's not broken.
Just spit it right back. But yeah, he let me go for that. He was like, yeah, you're good.
He just did that. He's just like, okay, you're a magician. You're right. You know what? Take off.
Yeah, and also I don't think he would give me a ticket anyway because I didn't know the rules on the Navy base. Like they're a little bit stricter, than the
That's a good point.
So he was kind of like, okay, I see. I've never been at the time I had never been on a Navy base before.
Yeah.
So you go 2 miles an hour over the speed limit. That's a ticket.
Yeah. One thing before I forget, I want to ask is because you've been street performing a big chunk of your life, so you would know this more than anyone. Is a stereotype true doing magic for like black guys having their reactions like
when they freak out?
Oh my god! Like is that like a legit reaction for black people?
I'll answer this the way that I always answer it.
Okay.
A lot of people are just more fun. They're just more fun to be around. They're more energetic. They're just more fun to be around. So like. It's the same if you do a trick for a white person, right? They're gonna have that same resting bitch face that they had a minute ago. They're just gonna be like, "That's cool," right?
Yeah.
But that's my answer. My answer is just black folks are more fun.
Okay.
They're just more fun to be around. They really are. When they're laughing, they laugh harder than anybody else. They're just more fun. You want to be around them more. So of course they're gonna freak out and be a little bit bigger with magic.
Yeah. So if you see like a group of black guys come in, they're all like part of your crowd. You can be like,
It's game on. It's game on. I'm like rubbing my hands together. I'm like, man, I'm about to build such a big crowd off of this one group of people. They're gonna be freaking out, and everyone's gonna know it's magic too. Like because there's only one reaction to magic, and it's what's happening right now. This is perfect. This is fun, dude. How long of a podcast do you like doing? Because we can keep going for hours.
Oh, I don't know. I average. So I think the first one with Cole Alexander was like 140.
That guy.
Yeah.
That I would never walk around with an alcoholic beverage in my hand until I saw Matt do it. Kidding.
That we did?
No.
Okay.
I tease him about that all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like,
we drank in ours too. I think we had He was my first guest on here. We drank whiskey or something. I think whiskey.
Yeah.
We got fucked up off that.
I always tease him about it because I remember him. He brought up a conversation to me one time whenever I think he just started comedy back then or whatever. He goes, yeah, I heard was it Dane Cook stole Steve Burns' Essence, right? That was like this old thing. You can look it up.
Mm-hmm.
But Steve Burns makes a joke about it. He goes, yeah, Dane Cook stole my Essence. And So ever since that, I was like, yeah, man, you know what's weird? Like, you never walked around with alcohol until I started, or until you started hanging out with me. So I just started teasing him about it.
Gotcha.
You know? It's like you 2-star Matt Price, that kind of stuff.
I gotcha. No, yeah, he was the first one. It was like hour 40. Other ones been like hour 15ish around there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember when I was talking to him, like, oh, dude, I want to know if that stereotype is true about black people in magic, because I've seen like clips and they just like there's always jokes about how they freak out. And have you ever had someone like freak out, like, I guess not freak out bad, but like the biggest reaction you've got, or are they all kind of similar and like?
No, they're not, because like there's just you have different people, right? So different people react differently. So some people internalize it, right? And they're like, that didn't just happen, and then they, something happens in their face. It looks like they just like you unplug the GameCube controller like in the middle of a match. They just kind of shut down. Then you got people who like they see it, something happens in their brain, and then they just they have to, they explode, and that's when you get the jumping and the stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then you have some people who just try to figure it out, and they're just super curious. So it's all like that. But the best reaction I think I ever got was from an old lady, right? It's one of my favorite ones because she faked a heart attack, right? It's always going to be in my head for the rest of my life, right? She went, oh, like that, and I went, yes! It's my favorite reaction I ever had in my entire life. Now, if that lady did have a heart attack later that day, I would have been like, nah, she's kidding. Because, I did think about that. I was like, she's doing that little cry wolf thing. Because I fell for that super hard. I was like, oh, shit. I thought I killed an old lady. Yeah. And I was like, oh, no. And
no.
Yeah, I'm like trying to, and she went, like that.
Like, damn it, you got me.
That was my favorite reaction of all time.
Nice.
Yeah. Because it legit scared the shit out of me.
Shit.
I was performing on the street one time in Florida on the beach. I got punched in the face by a guy.
Before the trick?
No, like in the middle of the show. So what happens was I have the whole circle around me, right? And I forget how old I was. I think it was like 18, right? It was spring break. I was 18. I'm doing shows instead of hanging out with all the spring breakers, I'm trying to make money. So I'm doing the show, and there's this drunk kid. He's got a Playboy bunny tattoo on his arm. I'll never forget it.
Everyone does.
Yeah. He's got a Playboy bunny tattoo. I'll never forget him.
Already don't like this dude.
Drunk and on drugs. Right, you can tell because he's doing this move. Like he's trying to pass out, but something's keeping him up. So he's yelling out and talking during the show, and I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? Here we go. So I gotta shut this guy down, but I'm gonna make it look like I'm gonna shit on everybody because he's drunk. So if you just call out the drunk person, they're So you gotta make it seem like you're getting everybody. So he doesn't seem like he's left out. But I eventually I start going in on him. And whenever I go in on somebody, I'm going in. And he's got to get it. And everyone's laughing. Like, the people around me are dying.
Which gets him more angry, probably.
Which is getting, But I turn over to a lady and I go, hey, ma'am, it's okay. Breathe, inhale, exhale, right? Because she's, like, laughing so hard. And I hear the whole crowd go, oh! I look back, bow! Right upside, just donkey punched me. Bow, right there without me seeing it. And I just went out cold.
You're out cold?
Yeah, I went out cold.
When you woke up, were people still around you?
Yeah, I got woken up by a cop. Like, I was literally, I woke up, hot female cop, And then I was like, did I just get knocked out by a guy with a Playboy bunny tattoo? Because I have to make a joke about it,
You have to.
So there's that story.
Were you more cautious after that, dealing with hecklers and street? Because in a comedy club, you have some sense of security because
no one's unless you're Jim Jeffries.
Well,
yeah, that video.
Yeah, I saw that.
Poor guy.
We have some sense of like security, but like because I didn't think about it. Street performing, there's no.
You have none. Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
If they don't like you, if they're drunk, they're gonna fuck you up.
No, because I feel like that's playing it safe. Like, I feel like if you're gonna use the street to get better.
Yeah.
You can't have those kind of fears.
Okay.
Right? But I also had I had a situation happen one time. This is probably the most serious situation I've ever had happen on the street. Getting punched in the face was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But so I'm thinking to myself, how do I build bigger crowds? How do I, do better, right? That's always one thing. So I buy these shoes for like $10 from a homeless guy, but they're brand new, right? He was selling them for $10. They're all red though, right? All red shoes, and I'm like, that would definitely make me stand out on the, whenever I'm performing, right? It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, dude, right? I look like this. I got blonde hair, blue eyes. You can look at me and go, if he's a part of any gang, it's gonna be like a Magic the Gathering gang. You know what I mean? So this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, blood in, blood out, huh?"
Oh no.
Like that, and I'm like, motherfucker, right? I'm like, hell no, man, absolutely not. These are just red shoes. I'm wearing a blue shirt. None of this is making sense. All right. So he's like, "Give me your shoes," and I'm like, "Well, no, I'm not gonna give you the shoes." He goes, "Give me the shoes," and he smacks the living shit out of me. Boom, just straight hand, bow, right to the face, right? My glasses went, pew, I'm out of here, right? They just shoot off of my face,
Jesus.
right? And he's like, "Give me your fucking shoes," and I'm like, "No, still don't think."
I think I smacked. You're still like, no.
No, because I'm gonna take him down. I'm gonna double leg him, right? That's what I'm thinking in my head.
Okay.
I'm about to dump this dude on his head, and I'm gonna choke him unconscious, right? So I'm like, no. And right whenever I'm thinking about it, I'm not all in, right? But I'm glad that I wasn't, because there's a screwdriver in his hand.
Oh yeah.
And I saw it, and I went, "Hey man, like maybe if you want the shoes."
Yeah, you can have the shoes.
Nah, but I never gave it to him. He smacked me one more time. Whap. That was the third smack, and I never gave him my shoes. And then here's the shitty thing. This is just how you know society's crumbling. Not a single person. 3 o'clock in the day, broad daylight, right? Completely surrounded public area. Everybody just had their phones out,
Yeah.
just recording you like this.
That's one thing that seems weird now, is if there's like fights that break out or something that you can be doing something helpful or anything, just maybe not intervene in the fight or just anything. Like you can. I always feel like if you're in a car, if you just fucking sound your horn really loud and hold it,
yeah,
like that's eventually they're gonna stop just because you hear that. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
There's so much that could happen.
If you can do that and sound the horn loud to bring attention, people will know, they will stop, whatever. But instead, people are just like, oh, let me just see that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they're just recording. Like that was it was like the most broken thing. Like it's just like society just kind of snapped for me. You know, I was like, not a single person like decided to help at all. Like nobody looked at me and was like, why is he not fighting back? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because there's a screwdriver. Nobody, like, I'm not saying you need to do much. You don't need to go and get yourself stabbed. You know what I mean? But at least hey, we don't need to be doing, not a single like, you don't even need to do anything. But don't record.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, oh
It's
man, I can't wait to see this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's getting beaten up.
You're going to record for the intent, be like, hey, someone's about to get knocked out. Something's about to happen. I'm going to watch. Let me record.
Yeah, you know how many views this is going to get whenever I put this up on social media? So I'm just saying, you guys, there's going to be videos of that out there. You know, definitely. If there's not already, but I haven't been tagged in it, and this happened a couple years ago. So
we'll find the video.
I'm sure there
Let's
is.
get on that. Who's our producer? No one's there. We'll figure that out. I think the only last question I wanted to ask, other questions as well, but the one I'm trying to stick with is, what's the best advice you ever received, like comedy or magic wise, and also advice you would want to give out to someone starting off in either magic or comedy?
When you're on stage, do your full time. Don't get like if you're up there and you're supposed to do 15 minutes, do 15, right? Don't go over. Don't do any less. Like just stick with it. Even if you're like, oh, I got 8 good minutes, right? Don't just do the 8 minutes and beat it. Do the full 15 because I promise you're gonna get better that way. Like you can't just be like, and I see that's the number one thing that gets under my skin. If you go a minute over, I don't care.
Yeah.
If you go a minute under, I kind of care because you're hurting yourself at that point. It's you stay through your entire time and just do it efficiently.
Yeah.
Hit that 15 mark. Have your phone, record it.
Yeah.
But don't get off early.
Okay.
That's all. That's the best advice I think anybody can give.
So that's the best advice, which is good advice. It's really, it's good for anyone just because some people, like I said, they're doing 15, but they have a safety net of like, I'm good 9, but I don't know if it's good now. Let me just stop at 9. It's like, just do the thing that you don't think it's good. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
If it's not good, it's not good. You get more time. You figure out how to deal with it, and then you're not gonna not. It's not gonna not help. Even if it bombs, it's gonna help.
Exactly.
And if
You're
it
gonna learn
does
that
well,
bombs.
then it helps again.
Yeah. And then and do your bits like 3 times before you throw them away. Like do them.
Yeah.
Don't just
That's a good
go
one
up.
too.
Don't just go up and be like, they didn't laugh at that. Yeah, but that audience didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take a look at it, adjust, go try it a couple more times before you throw it away. I try bits out 20 times.
Yeah.
And some days they're funny, and it's just because I'm in a certain mood that day that makes that joke funny. And then other times I'm like, this is just terrible. I don't know why I keep doing this.
This is not funny, man, but it keeps going.
Yeah, that joke's terrible, man. Like, nipples don't look like uvulas.
The kidnapping, the hostage thing, man. And then, what is the best advice? That was the advice you'd want to give out. Is there any advice that you've received over your time that you think like sticks out to you?
Any advice
That's been given to you from like, it doesn't have to be like a mentor, but like a comic or magician that sticks out to you that you take with you.
Oh, well, what's weird with magic? I don't really have a lot of magicians that I look up to.
Okay.
And it's not that I don't love magicians. They're all great in their own ways. Except for Chris Angel. But
It's funny because I'm not even like a magic guy, but I kind of know exactly what that is.
he's the perfect guy to shit on because he was on top for so long.
Yeah, that's
It's just fun. It's just funny, Chris. Don't get mad. But so what I do is I look up to directors for some reason, like movie directors,
okay.
for my magic. It's so weird, but they make movie magic, So like
Is
I
this
watch
segue
their
into
stuff.
a bit?
No.
Okay.
But see, so to keep them intrigued, what you do is you make them think. All right. But no, seriously though, like Quentin Tarantino, I'm a huge fan of him. He inspires me more than magicians inspire me.
Okay.
Right? Like directors and movie, like people, because I feel like I'm a director all the time of myself.
Mm.
Like I gotta create the trick, I gotta write the jokes, I gotta, like I feel like I'm doing everything a part of a movie except for filming it. So they like Christopher Nolan. I don't know why. Like Stanley Kubrick, I can look at all those guys and get way more inspiration than any magician, comedian.
Okay.
But when it comes to comics, I have comics I like. Like Nate Bargatze's fucking outstanding to me.
He's incredible. He's one of my favorites.
He's probably I think he's my favorite comedian working right now. And I've met his dad, who's a magician.
Oh yeah, it's true. He has a bit about it.
Yeah,
The special Tennessee Kid, I believe.
Yeah.
That he talked about his dad being a magician.
Maybe him appeared.
He's legit. He's probably one of the funny. He's one of my favorites, and his Tennessee Kid special was. He's so honest and authentic, and he had this one moment where he starts talking about like dog cupcakes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he tells the audience like, "I don't worry, I'm almost done. Like you guys can tell. I'm talking about like it's so like, he's just so good, dude.
He's so good. Have you seen Full Time Magic?
No.
Go watch that special.
It's his special?
Yeah.
It's called Full Time Magic?
He put it out on Comedy Central first, and I don't think it got the love that it deserved at all because the internet generation was just moving forward. But it's called Full Time Magic. You can buy it. It's like $2.99 or something like that on YouTube. Yeah, and just buy it and watch it, and you're gonna be like, okay, this guy is the funniest dude.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm like, doing that today, by the way. I'm not kidding. I really, yeah.
Do it and then text me and tell me what you think. Yeah. You're gonna be like, okay, all right. Well, I gotta up my game.
Yeah.
And he's so different too. Like his cadence and his writing.
Cadence is a very low energy, but like still very strong. It's weird. His cadence is very, very weird.
Commanding, but it's not like demanding. Right, like you're commanding an audience, but you're not demanding them to laugh.
Yeah,
but it's that subtleness.
That's a really good way to put it. He's commanding, but not demanding. It's like he's not being like very like, hey,
I'm gonna get in your face. I'm gonna make you laugh.
He's just there, like taking the stage, saying the stuff, being very like,
pay attention. Like it's just you're paying attention because you want to.
Yeah,
and that's what he's got. He's got that commanding, but not demanding. So it's like you just start. it hits me every time. And
Yeah.
when he's talking about the horse, the Tennessee Kid, right? It's fine. And just the way
It's
I crack up thinking about it. But Full-Time Magic's my favorite special by him so
okay.
far. It's better than Tennessee Kid.
Is it? I gotta watch because I have Tennessee Kid had one of my favorite jokes of his, the Sixth Sense or whatever, where he talks about the spoiler thing, but he talks about being put in a doghouse. Pretty much, I don't know if you remember that part, but he says pretty much saying that the whole time in the Sixth Sense that people didn't know he was dead, even though it showed it. They just thought that his
Spoiler
wife was
alert.
really mad at him or whatever. And that
Yeah.
whole cleverness of the whole build around it, I was like, that's fucking. And the way he said it was like perfect. And I was like, fuck, dude, this guy's good.
You know he's got a 30-minute on the stand-ups on Netflix.
I watched that.
Okay.
I watched that one first, and then when Tennessee came out or Tennessee Kid came out, I was like, okay, let me watch that.
Yeah, but watch Full-Time Magic,
Yeah.
and then you'll be like, I get it now. Like I understand that this guy is going to be a driving force
Yeah.
until he's dead. You know? Yeah. He's so freaking good, and I have no idea how his brain comes up with the things that he comes up with either, because he's one of those comics where I'm watching it and I'm like, I want to tell you this bit, but I don't want to give it away. Anyway, you'll see it in the special. We'll text about it,
Oh yeah.
right? Because I would say it and just like ruin it, but it's like, how the fuck do you think of that dude?
Yeah.
Like where?
There's times like that too where I want to tell someone something like just watch it, but I want to tell you like, but just you need to watch it for yourself, and then we can talk about it.
We'll talk about it for sure, but I don't want to ruin it for you because I'm not going to do it justice. 'Cause
Yeah.
we don't have the same and I'm so bad at telling other people's jokes. You know, like I've learned that. Have you ever went on stage? Like there was an open mic back in Florida, where I'm from, where you go on stage and you do you do another person's act. Like you switch acts with another
Oh,
person.
okay.
Just like it was fun for comics because we got to make fun of.
What you think the other person is. Or,
Yeah, like the best one was to do Preacher, right? Like
Yeah.
you do because anybody you can do a Preacher Lawson impression, right? Jumping around.
Just,
Right.
Yeah. Hey.
It's always fun to see people pick Preacher and then try and do his jokes on stage in front of him, with that big energy like that,
Yeah.
and just like so sarcastic. Woo! Look at me! Flying car.
I can
Just,
picture.
like,
I
just
can
so
picture all
mocking.
of that.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. But I would bomb at those shows all the time with other people's material because I just cannot tell another person's joke. I can't do it. I'm so
Yeah.
bad at it. Like I'll tell you a joke that like happened, like a street joke, and I'll fuck it up. It's not funny because it's not me, So I'm so bad at that. I really.
Well, I get that's a good thing to not being good at other people's jokes. I mean,
It
it's
is.
a good quality to have.
It is, but I mean, you would think for a minute, like like, hey man, I can't wait to tell my friends this
Yeah.
joke that I heard on a stand-up special, and I would just botch it, like,
You're like, fuck.
butcher the shit out of it. Yeah, it's so bad. But anyway,
Well, I'm glad you didn't tell me. I'm definitely gonna watch the.
definitely check
I'm
it out.
definitely watching it. Full-Time Magic. I think this is a good way to end the episode. Thank you for being on. You are my finger guns. Well, at the point, we'll just do that. We'll edit it out. Yeah, thank you. It's the 8th episode. It's been fun, dude.
Dude, and have me back anytime. Man. I'll come by and hang out.
Fuck yeah! I'm just trying to get as many people here. Just have whatever.
Yeah, man, make me your full-time regular.
Let's do it. Next time we'll have some. Next time we'll plan it for a Sunday,
Hell yeah,
so we can have some drinks.
have some beers, bro.